really. I think in church, this is an amazing tool because the way you can grab and do a lot of stuff on the fly.
Right.
But like you say, you have to be willing to dig into it to learn a lot of those
So
things.
so I'm glad you said that, because I've been telling people, like, listen, for the stage or for church, this is still your number one option, right? You know, the Montage is dope, and it's definitely cheaper, and you're gonna get synthesis wise a lot more, but you got to do a lot of this.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to put the work in and coax the sound out of the board, because you know, immediacy, this is going to win hands down.
And see, that's the thing. That's why it's called a stage piano.
Yeah.
It's designed for, because I get a lot of people, oh man, the Montage or the I said they're two different keyboards.
They really are. They really are. Now, I would use a Montage in church.
Yeah.
Especially now, everybody knows I was all the way asleep on the original Montage, and still.
Yeah, I remember.
Yo, bro, that is
when
not.
We went to Lauren that time.
Oh,
like, nah, man.
I'm good. I'm good on the Montage, and the M is a little bit different than the OG. The layout is different. The menus are similar but different. And again, same like with the 4 and the 3. They're brothers. You can tell they're related, but just different.
Certain things.
This thing definitely has the edge for being immediate.
Yeah.
And not only feature-wise, but sonically.
Yeah.
Like what the instrument gives back to you as soon as you press a note, you're like, oh yeah. Whereas the Montage is kind of like, come here, babe. Let me get, you got to massage it out. You got to go in there and really move stuff around. Like, so in that regard, I'm going to give the edge to the Stage 3 all day long.
Or the 4, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Stage 4, all day long. It's super light.
Oh, my God. Now, see, that's one thing I hate about the Montage, is that it's so deep and heavy.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
It's like, wow.
And the other good thing for playing in church, especially, and studio too, but playing in church especially, what I really love about the Nord pianos and about the Stage 4 is the ability to use USB for MIDI and DIN MIDI
simultaneously.
Oh my God. And I don't know why. I know the Chronos did it. I'm not too familiar with the Phantom.
Also, the Chronos did it. I know the Montage did not do it. That was annoying.
Yeah.
You had to use one or the other.
Yeah.
But they allow you. So in your setup, how do you utilize that?
So back when I was playing the S90, I had to use MIDI out of here, DIN MIDI out of here, into my 3080, and then use the little Uno or like a Mio wire going through the 3080 into my computer, right? So this, when I got this at the church, I'm not there anymore, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm retired, baby. But I used straight USB, right? And then used MIDI to my rack, and there was one less MIDI hanging over, one less wire hanging over, you know what I mean? Like, and I was able to control my main stage, with this, and not have to like turn this down, and like it was a lot of dancing around, getting things.
They gave you that flexibility of going out on two different outs as far as control. So that's great. So yeah, man, it's just.
I mean, it's a fantastic keyboard. Fantastic keyboard. You know what I'm saying? And I know, a lot of people are on the fence.
Oh, yeah. And when you're spending that type of money, you have to be critical and you have to look, because the times we live in, money doesn't come that easy all the time. So when you're making a choice, you want to make sure it counts. You really want to make sure it counts.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I mean, obviously I went a different way, but I wouldn't be mad if I walked into, a church or,
situation.
Venue,
and this
is there. I walked into a studio and it was like, and again, man, we say it all the time, right, man? This has been 12 years now. We've been kind of doing stuff like this. You got to do your homework.
Got to.
It doesn't matter it really does not matter the keyboard. It really doesn't. And I used to get bent out of shape. I would listen to like engineers, old school, guys, Dave Pensado, Andrew Sheps, these guys, Warren Hewitt. They would say, it's really not about the gear. It's what's between the ears.
And you're like, yo, dude, you got the best gear in the world sitting in that rack right behind you.
I'm like spoken like a dude that's got, $100,000 board and, whatever. But there is a reason why stuff is expensive. There's a reason why stuff is high-end.
Absolutely.
But you can have high-end gear and still sound like garbage.
Exactly.
Right? So it's really about what you understand.
What you understand about the gear.
If you've done the homework, synthesis. You know what pianos are supposed to sound like. You know what drawbars do, what an organ, You know what tones to get out of this stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the instrument because
Yeah.
And if you're familiar, the best thing ever happened to me was I got a bunch of old analog polys, right? Like over the last 4 or 5 years, that was all I was using, and so now my ear
is tuned to that.
Yeah. I hear that, and I know where to get the little randomness. Like I know those analog boards, they're not stable. Like there's a bunch of irregularities.
Because they're running off of oscillators, and the oscillators
and voltage.
The
electricity may be different today than it was yesterday. The current, right? So stuff sounds a little bit different, and things are unstable. And I figured out how to create that with a computer or a solid. So now my ears, when I create sounds,
you're listening for certain things.
I know what I'm going for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then it becomes, all right, how does this instrument help me get to where I'm trying to get to? You see what I'm saying? So it's really not the piano.
Yeah.
You can buy this, right? But
you could buy this and be great on it, and you could buy it and be horrible on it.
Yeah.
The common denominator is you.
It's you. It's you. You can't
the
look at...
instrument's going to be the instrument. And like I said, you'll look on the internet and you'll see Mike killing. Oh, my God, you hear the way that sounds?
That's what I'm saying. I was just getting ready to say, like, how many times... Like, you can't go on Mike's page, or whatever, and be like, oh, I got to get a stage 4 because there's a zillion red pianos in his clip, right? Okay, cool. But how about when he was playing an OG motif?
He was still pulling stuff
crazy.
Out of that.
You see what I'm saying?
He was still pulling stuff out of that.
Really
He's the common denominator. And we have to get that. I mean, this gives you a certain level of flexibility.
And it helps you do your job easier.
Yeah, but it still comes back to you.
Right.
What you're bringing to the table with the instrument.
Right. Right. So if I was to grade this keyboard like a alphabet grade, I would give this keyboard an A minus, B plus, A minus, more A minus than B, more A than B, definitely. So.
Yeah, because as we say this all the time, no keyboard is perfect. No, I don't care. Companies have to realize this. Although that you put your blood, sweat, and tears in this stuff, no keyboard, nobody has made the perfect keyboard where, once this keyboard, we don't have to do anything else. This is the no.
But what would be the perfect keyboard?
Exactly. And even that is very subjective from person to person.
Yeah.
Because what you like may not be completely what I like, and then the next guy. So, it's just, we just keep pressing and innovating and adding features and changing things.
Yeah, and I mean, there's guys, shout out, to the different developers that are really starting to pay attention to the gospel community. You know what I'm saying? I think Nord is one of the first companies to really
show a lot of love.
Pay attention to church guys, you know what I'm saying, and what church guys like to do. I think they could maybe dig a little deeper in figuring out the sound of church and what
understand the whole vibe, psychology, the whole thing about why we do and why do we want it to sound that way.
Right. You know what I mean? And I think other keyboards need to take a page out of Nord's book, and really develop some sounds that are more genre crossing.
Yeah.
Right, like that, because church gospel music is more like gumbo.
A hodgepodge.
It's everything in there. It's jazz, it's rock, it's hip hop, it's, you know, it's a little bit of classical. Like, as a church guy, if you playing, and I'm not talking about the average storefront church, but if you're playing at a more established, or a church with an established music
ministry, there's a palette of music. You're not just doing this same narrow thing from week to week.
Right, and you need an instrument that's going to be able to,
that can do that.
You know,
it's like a friend of mine that was playing at CCC years ago, A.R. Bernard. He says every Sunday they tend to do a different genre, just a whole different, because they have such a large demographic. They don't want it to just be narrow. I remember when I sold them the B3, for years they didn't even have an organ in there. But they realized, okay, we need that.
Yeah.
We need that to cover that. So they're doing the contemporary, top 40, doing gospel, they do Caribbean. I mean, they just grab the gamut.
Yeah.
And that's really, and when you look at modern church, that's it, because you have such a large demographic.
Right, right. You know what I'm saying? So this would definitely be a positive addition, you know, and a step in the right direction in being able to accomplish that, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you would not be disappointed if you bought this. You know?